He's here! The first BreyerFest special run has been released, so what time is it? The now tradition must continue with the BreyerFest 2026 special runs, so let's get started with Litha. This guy is themed after one of the many midsummer festivities in the Scandinavian countries. The picture that they put on here is when the maypole is raised. So I think I'm gonna do a dancing related pose for this guy. Senior Zeus is gonna be my helper for the day. Hello everyone and welcome back or welcome to Morgan Mayer Studios and the first video in the Drawing All of the 2026 BreyerFest Special Run series. The first special run that they released is a stallion with the name of Litha on the Ethereal mold. Originally, I was planning to do Rowan, since at first I thought it was going to be Cosimo for the mold, and then I thought it was going to be Rowan, but they totally hit me with a curveball on that. I was nerding out like late at night trying to match the top line of the model with the molds I thought it might be, and I was wrong, as well as all the internet guesses. So, instead of drawing a fluffy pony, I need to draw a very elegant Mustang, which I was not ready for. So I decided to give this guy kind of a dancing pose. He's in motion. He's leaping and bounding. It's like he's galloping around the maypole himself. Litha has a very elegant pose in this interpretation of him. His front legs are tucked as he leaps out in almost a dancing motion. The first step of my drawing process here is getting the base in. This guy had to have a lot of surgery. He had to get a nose job, he had to get a cannon job, he had to get a back job, all the types of drawing surgery he had to have. There was a lot of reworking I had to do with this sketch. So I got a very good reference image. I referenced the model and the overall shape and build of the sculpture, put my own little twist on it, mashed that together in a big lump of clay, and then put together this sketch. The next thing I had to do with the sketch was to get all the white markings in. Litha is a paint, so I had to follow the pattern of his paint markings very, very closely. I do this by just drawing some shaky, jagged lines where all the paint markings are, so I have an idea of where the white areas of the horse are going to be. Now that the sketch is complete, I'm going to go into stage 2, the shading process. Litha is a delicious dappled blood bay, and in his paint job he has numerous dark points, especially on his shoulder. So I interpret this by getting some darker points in on his face, and then blending it out with some lighter at the bottom. Oh, there's my little antenna. I fill the shading in kind of roughly at first, but I will blend it all out later and give it a very soft appearance. To blend, I like to use a Q-tip and gently go in small circles around all the shaded areas, and if I need to, I'll go back in with an eraser and lighten up the lighter points. Now that the face has all been shaded in, I start on the most important part, which is the eye. I decided to have him looking back behind him, as if looking to one of his stablemates who is following him in his dance around the maypole. I gave him a lively gaze by slightly raising his eyebrow, but not too much, so he doesn't look scared. To shade in his body, I follow the same pattern as I did with the face. To do Litha's ears, I made a dark ring around the edges, kind of like how the model has, and he had very dark tips on the very tops of his ears. So I filled in the little fluff crack in the middle, and then I darkened it up on the top and blended that down. Now that all the bay parts of Litha is shaded in, I'm now going to go back and do the white as well as the pinking on the nose. To apply pinking, I shade everything in slightly darker than I would the white and then blend it out. To shade the white, I do a similar process, except I press much lighter with my pencil and almost do lines that I will blend out with a Q-tip later. Now that the shading is done, it is time to move into stage 3, the details. First, I'm going to add the dapples. I'm really sorry that my hand is covering up this whole process, so I'll do my best to explain it. To add dapples, I rip off a chunk of my moldable eraser, and I make small prints in the coat by very lightly dabbing the paper. I apply the pony polka dots in a pattern that reminds me of a fishnet. When I'm done with this, I go back in and I blend them all out, and then I'll go back again and lighten them back up. It's a back and forth process. Now that the dapples are done, I'm going to go back in and give the horse texture by drawing teeny tiny hairs on the shaded bits and even on the lighter bits. Since this process takes a bajillion years, I time-lapsed it. I also add mapping in this process. I do mapping the same style I do hair by hair on the white, I just put them all compact in a ring going in the direction of the hair growth. The end is finally in sight. I totally forgot how long doing black manes takes me, because this included a lot of crash outs. To do the mane, I draw streaks with my pencil in the color, which is black, sadly, in the direction that the mane is flowing. If I need to, I will go back in and very gently color in the little white holes I accidentally left. For some more realistic details, I also like to take my pencil and make very thin, wispy lines around the ends of the mane. Now wrapping up the mane, meaning there is only one thing left to do, which is sign it. The first 2026 BreyerFest special run is done. Meet Litha. Thank you guys so much for sticking around this long to see the process. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you like this guide just as much as I do. Stay tuned for part 2. It's coming soon. Bye-bye!